fat broke. We ain't got it. Don't spend no money, ain't got no clothes, ain't got no cars, ain't got no hoes. We broke.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're now listening. 1, 2, broke. We broke.
La 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 la. La la la. It's been so long I forgot how to do this. New year, new me, welcome to it. It's a brand new Two Broke Twimbos. We made it to 2017, fam. My name's Denny, that guy, aka Dennyas, aka the only guy, aka your girlfriend probably pities me, aka Dan More. When you look inside my wallet, it's more like Dan Less.
That's right. And he's here with the one and only, the irrefutable, the unmistakable. No longer via Skype, we're in the studio, damn it!
In the stew!
That's right, it's your boy, Phil Chad, aka Flame Floss, the big boss, baby.
Aka Pizza P.
Aka Sexington Lovu. Aka DJ Mkarad. And of course, Shamwari, the Tengero Dringi. I'm also Filthy Phil and the Problematic Puns. But you know, we are leaving things in the past then. We're moving on. You know what I'm saying?
Someone once told me it's because you spoke it into the universe that you're Two Broke Twimbos. This is why you're facing all these struggles, Dan.
I'm really not. I think it's because we're Zimbabwean, but that's neither here nor there.
That too, but then my response was, look, before I spoke anything, I was
Already broke, you know
so
what I
I
mean?
don't understand what you're saying.
You know
Nothing
what
has
I mean?
changed.
The whole point of this show is to inspire the youth. You know, it's an aspirational lifestyle program. Because what we're trying to do is push people to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically, when you listen to this show, you realize that you're not the worst it can possibly be.
Exactly. You know what I mean? If you're out there and for lunch today you had sadza and veggie, we want you to get to the point where it's sadza and one piece of beef. You know what I mean? Or maybe some usawi. You know, some soya mix. You know what I'm saying?
Get some lacto up in that mix, man. Get some protein. You know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, after taking a brief, well-deserved end of year hiatus, yeah, it's time for us to be back and just.
That's right. I think this is the first time we've been in the studio together in quite some time, Dan.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I mean, the last time was when we were still living together, if I remember correctly, and those were. No, yeah, it was. It was when we were
Tumultuous times.
it's not that they're any better, but yeah, you know.
I've moved since then, by the way.
So have I, apparently.
Beginning of this year, they're like, into the burbs.
Oh yes, I heard you now have a home.
I do have a home.
Does it have a pool?
It does have a pool.
What? Hey, moving on up.
It's not functional, so right now it's a.
It's basically a reservoir.
It's a depository for rainwater and leaves. So.
And a mosquito hotel.
Exactly. If anyone wants to buy any mosquitoes, we've got a rare breed at our home. But that's
worse than the ones from our last place.
Oh, dude.
Guys, I don't think you guys understand. Where Dan and I stayed, we're not going to put our landlord on blast because we might still owe him money. But those mosquitoes, fam.
I saw him the other day, and I was like, hey, man. Hey, it's me. Hey, man. Why don't you want to greet me back? It was very
No,
awkward.
but eventually we came right. You know what I mean?
I feel like we did. I don't
Like, Hey, it might have taken us a few months to clear that debt, but we cleared the debt.
No, and to be fair, the debt was like it wasn't like there's people who have worse debts, man. There's people who haven't paid in 8 months.
We don't even have a debt. It was literally an issue of a burn on a countertop and the holes I put in the wall for my TV, which were all fixed, and I painted the whole place for him, fam. Come on.
I don't understand what is. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Have you seen what it looks like recently?
Nah, I haven't passed. Dude, I don't live anywhere.
Oh, well. I went there to go collect my stove and stuff from storage.
Oh, wait, was he still holding that as part of your
He
debt?
wasn't holding. I spoke to the gardener. I was like, yo, can I just keep this here until I move to a place with more space than I can? Yeah. So now that I moved to the new place, I was like, let me go grab the arm.
Arm.
And I called up the previous gardener. It's like, Dan? So I was like, damn, okay, let me just go there. So I went there, and the new guy, he's like, hello. He's like, yeah, I left my stuff in the, okay. Yes, if you can open it up for me.
So wait, you basically could have just lied.
I could have been robbing him.
There was a lot of stuff in that garage, fam.
But the thing is, I think he believed me because I was like, no, that's not mine, that's not mine, that's mine, that's mine, that's not mine.
But that's a convincing thief. You got to know your limits. You're like, no, the cheap car's not mine. The Ferrari, yes, that is clearly mine. Of course, my name is Betty. It's on the number plate.
Anyway, yeah. So, new place. 2017, man. Right now, I just moved in, so it's still uninhabitable, so no one is welcome to visit. But like around about June, I swear it's going to be dope. Like I'm going to be hosting like games night and stuff. It's going to be so dope.
So basically, you stealing my ideas?
We've got a fireplace.
So basically, stealing my
What
ideas?
do you mean you think you invented games night?
Dude, did we not have games night at my place?
Lots of people. I've had games night before your place. I don't
Oh,
understand-
shut up.
Get out of here. Anyway, all right,
Heathen.
cool. Since the last time we spoke, we had the festive season, December in Zim.
It was real. It was real, my man. It was real.
What-
I can't remember. What was our last episode? Our last episode was the doom and gloom, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Let me just-
Yeah, it was. It was the doom and gloom. I remember. I was just checking the website recently. So it's been quite some time since we updated. I mean, a lot has been going on. December in Zim. Hey, where do we begin? I made it a very good point because for those that know me, I've been a victim. I think Dan and I and a third member of our group who shall remain nameless to protect his identity. We literally invented December in Zim, and December in Zim is it's a seesaw, you know. It has many peaks, good moments, good memories, and many troughs, drama, timeline draggings, hashtags, what have you. So I'm growing older, Dan. You know, I can't keep living like this.
You got to leave the drama behind.
I'm trying to position myself in the corporate world as a professional. Yeah, you know, so I can't be involving
This
myself.
is why I escaped the city. I couldn't. I could see things were heading to an apex, and I had to escape the city. I spent the days leading up to and my New Year's weekend in Nyanga, in the mountains.
Which is basically what I did when I got back to Zim. I was literally in H for one day, as Dan can attest, because I crashed on his couch. Next day, straight to my parents' home. I'm a parents' home for a couple of weeks. Then a very extended holiday where we got to see the sights and sounds of Zim. We'll discuss it a little later. I'll say Zimbabwe's expensive, my guy. Yo. But yeah, so December in Zim was not fast, but I was watching from the periphery. I saw you doing some hard-hitting reportage
Oh, what?
of unplugged bar fights.
Oh, why don't we start with that? Actually,
So I'll put my side up. I'm really not like I'm on Zim Twitter, but I'm not really on Zim Twitter because I don't really know like who's really popping anymore. Once in a while, so like I've got people that I follow. I'll see them talking about something. I'll hit them up like, "Yo, what's going on here?" You know, because I like things. You know what I mean? I like the gossip. I'm not gonna lie.
it is known, Khaleesi. Yes.
Yes. I like things. So it was a Sunday. I think I was out somewhere, and then someone WhatsApped me. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on the timeline?" I'm like, "I don't know." I go on the timeline. What is going on the timeline? I have no idea. So I follow a few people. I see what's going on. I go to Snapchat, and it's literally WrestleMania.
World star. That's what was going on, man.
It really was. And I actually believe there was a dude, I won't say his name, but there's a in one of the videos, there's a dude that shouts World Star. And then he was tweeting like, "I'm the dude that shouts World Star in the video."
Why are you proud?
And then people are like, "So you want a cookie for being an idiot?"
All right, so here's the thing. I work on a Saturday evening. If you may or may not know, I'll be on radio. But so whenever Unplugged is on a Saturday, it means I can't go. You know what I mean? Or I can only go for like the early session, then I have to leave, and it's may as well not go. So whenever Unplugged is on a Sunday, I'm super excited because that means I can be there for the whole duration. Unplugged was on Sunday. I was like, oh, snap. And it was meant to be the biggest Unplugged of the year in December. You know, everybody is back from the diaspora. And, yeah, man, I was looking forward to it. I get there. Literally, the first thing I do once I get through, because I don't pay to get into Unplugged, because...
VIP what?
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
of, Dan still has my ticket.
well, it's expired now. We have to get new ones.
Yeah.
Derek's been using it since.
She hasn't told me. She wasn't happy about it at all.
My dude's been like, yeah, my name's Phil Chad. Can we have ID? Ah.
Yeah, because he looks like a full chat, doesn't he?
Anyway. Okay, to be fair, that only happened once.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
It only happened once. Wow, I feel... Why is this going out in
Look
public?
at you snitching on yourself.
I
Good.
know. Not on me. I was... Anyway.
Idiot.
It only happened once. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes. So I get there. Literally, first thing that happens when I walk in, I'm just taking a Snapchat with, "Hey, I've arrived. Look at this." And I'm panning the camera. And I see this fine woman just in my camera. So I just like sort of pause. You know, I was like, huh? who was that? And she starts dancing in the camera, and that's how I knew. That's how I knew that this is not any Unplugged.
It was a special.
This is a special edition of Unplugged. It's not going to be the same as the others. And sure enough, it wasn't. I got in. The friend I was just telling you about, the very important friend.
Oh, yes.
Hi, what are you doing?
She's there. Of course. Well, I mean, she's a human being. She's got to go out. She's got to have a good time. You know what I mean?
Immediately afterwards, several other people that made it very stressful for me because now I had to decide who to chill with. You know what I mean?
That's exactly why I avoid December and Zims. That issue right there.
So I was just like, let me just go get a drink. Okay. So I go with the squad I'm with to get a drink. And the bar is, of course, a bit crowded. So I sort of make my way to the front, and there was a swipe machine. So I was excited. I was like, oh, I can swipe. Cool. And I can hear from the background, it's like, Dan. I'm like, okay, damn, I'll get your drinks. I'm coming. No. Turns out they were calling me for the fight that was happening literally like 6 meters away from where I was. But I saw nothing because my head was down at the bar. So I eventually come out with the drinks. I'm like, guys, it's like, Dan, did you see? See what? The fight, there was a fight. No? Well, turns out there'd been a fight. And it was...
Oh, really? I had no idea.
It was quite, it was apparently very intense. And happened very quickly, apparently. It was like, pat, 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 pat. Then round 2, pat, 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 pat. And then...
Wait, there was round 2?
Yeah, because apparently they'd been separated, and then... somehow it just happened again. This is me just recapping from watching videos and being told what was going on.
Yeah, so...
I was so disappointed that I missed out on that. But...
Really? Were you there?
I was. I wanted to see it.
Yeah. Well, we need to get that because you did get dragged in the following day, which I found hilarious.
By some, I did. So here's the thing, okay? So I'm on Drive Time Radio the next day.
Look at Dan with these drops. Yeah, just.
And one of the things we do on a Monday is to find out like what was trending this weekend, what was everyone talking about online. So one of the things, not even by me, by our producer, was like one of the things that's trending Unplugged. We got to find out why. I was like, oh, I know why. I can tell you why. But then Algon was like, look, but we don't want to be. We try our hardest to be transcendent.
As in you meditate?
No, as in we want to be the aim of ZFM is to be aspirational. So the Guan is, okay, look, if you're aspiring to be something, what is it that you keep on your mind? It's not going to be like gossip and whatever. So if we do talk about anything that is gossip wise and whatever, we want to talk about it rather from that angle, that whole, we're not, you know what I mean? We're not talking about people and gossip and whatever. But this did happen. What can we learn from it and whatever? So what do you guys think we should do? I think, you know what? Let's not talk about the fight. Let's call someone who was in it and let them talk about it. You know what? I like that idea. Cool, because that means we're not the ones talking about it. Perfect. So we just took a quick text like, yo, so, hey, Lee, want to call you on radio. You can talk what happened. And for sure, it was a really, like, a lot of people were angry because, hey, why didn't you get in the nitty-gritties and whatever? And I was like, for that very reason, we just want to be like, listen, a lot of people talking about Unplugged because there was a fight. Why was there a fight? And he's like, no, Ningi had said something about church money, whatnot.
That's not the story. That's what I heard, but he didn't carry on, yeah.
Oh, I don't know the backstory.
So, that I get. And when you announced it, I was like, really? But I could understand why you do it because it's a hot topic. You're going to get viewers, especially if ZFM is trying to reach a certain demographic. You know that the people tuning in are going to be of a certain strata, international, blah, 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 blah. But
in all fairness,
the issue is like, and even like if you guys are discussing like the stuff like that, it's like Wendy Williams built a career in doing stuff like this. Like it's cool. Like it was, and it got people listening because I listened in, I recorded this. You know what I mean? The issue that I had and a lot of other people had was the way it was approached. Because like you just said, it's supposed to be we're above it. We're not gonna what's the word? Condone it, that type of stuff, and then let her speak on it, which I can understand is cool. If Lee wants to go on radio and admit to committing a crime,
that's none of my business.
That's her business. She has every right to do that, and ZFM is fine. The issue was one, the way you guys set it up, because you said the interview's at 3. I think it was like a few minutes past 3. You crammed as many ads as you could before that interview, and I could tell deliberately.
The ads are predetermined. They're determined months in advance as to what time they'll play.
But you know how long the ad's going to be. So news rundown, ad's going to run for this long.
But Phil,
then we're cutting
Phil,
back
okay,
to
let me tell you something. Out of announcing on Twitter that we're going to be talking about Unplugged, how many listeners do you think we're going to get from that? Max.
But it's not. But once again, it's not only the live listeners, because what it then does is the conversation, and then it's the brand and the notoriety.
Okay, I want Zim Twitter to kind of understand this. It is such a small cross section of society.
It is indeed, but it's the influences.
It's not.
Those are the sneezes.
It's not.
Those are the sneezes.
I'm telling you, it's not. Zim Twitter it's fun, and I like to put attention on it. That's why I often talk about like what's going on Twitter. I like to put attention on it because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. There's interesting people, but still, even if we're talking uptown, the majority of them are still on Facebook and not Twitter.
But that's the thing, because the conversation started on Twitter. And it moved to Facebook because I remember...
Even then, it wasn't a big conversation on Facebook.
But anyway, that being said, that was one of the issues. The second issue is now the bed for the interview.
I didn't even notice that.
The bed for the interview was a hot nigga. When the portion for caught a body about a week ago, Munya stops the interview, says, "Hold on, give me a moment," and screams, "Caught a body about a week ago."
I didn't even realize.
And remixes it and says, "Body a day ago." And then he
man, I gotta give him props. For that. Actually, damn, I hadn't realized.
And then on top of that, while she's reciting the story of beating up what some people might term a defenseless person, because Lee has she's...
No, please. Okay, guys, let's not be hypocritical here. We talk about fights all the time. There's a difference between...
But no, the issue wasn't the fight. Is that when she said she beat her up for that reason, the tone wasn't, "Oh, you did this. Why did you do this?" It was, "Ha ha, you did this." And that's what caught people the wrong way. And even I was like, yo, everything else I was cool with up until then because that was in poor taste.
Hold on. Okay. First of all, the whole discussion about it, the reason why it was trending was it's the same response anyone has to a public fight. It's that whole fascination of, this happened, then, you got hit, then, you did dingy, chi, whatever. Right? That's always the response to any public fight. Mm-hmm. Now, all of a sudden, the same people who are all up on their Facebook and their Twitter, all like, lol, did you see that picture? Did you see? And then the next tweet is, but those guys, how could they not say, or how could you not include, for example, don't use violence as a method to solve you? Hey, dog, I ain't your psychiatrist. I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Of course, on our end, it's important for us not to, like I said, over-sensationalize some of these things. So that's why for us, it was literally one link. It was literally, call you, okay, this is what happened. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Oh, you said you got in a fight? It's like, well, I wouldn't really call it a fight because I didn't get injured. Did the other person get injured? Well, I don't know. You can find out. Lol. Okay, stop fighting. Bye. That was a conversation. Next thing I see on Twitter is, I heard Dan laughing. Look, did you hear Dan laugh? Yeah, I did laugh. I did. It's funny. Why are you guys publicly fighting? What's wrong with you? That's funny. But then the moment you get overwoke squad. I'm sorry, please.
Does Zim have an overwoke
Get
squad?
yourself, yes. And I they're there.
Zim has an overwoke
Yes. Worse for you, Phil. You called me before the interview. Are you forgetting?
Oh, you mean the day before?
No, yes.
Yeah, of course.
And
I tweeted about it. I was like, yo, guys, listen. I found this stuff hilarious. I was following the Guan. The only issue I had, one, is why is Lee admitting to a crime on radio?
That is, yeah.
Are you crazy?
I actually thought she wouldn't agree to it.
And B, like, I can understand, but, like, for ZFM as a brand, there are ways to do it. And even, like, when you do it, at least you know you're protecting yourselves. Because, say, for example, like, Munya could have said, and it's posterity, but it still goes a long way in at least showing what side of the argument you're on. So you guys can just say, listen, we had a fight. Before we get into it, let us remind our listeners that we don't condone this, blah, 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 blah.
Literally happened.
Yeah.
That literally happened. Before the conversation, I literally said, before we talk about this, let's just talk about the fact that you shouldn't use violence as a method to solve your problems.
You know
anyway, hi, Lee.
So, yeah. And
so, first of all, that. Secondly, okay, let's talk about the time that Ray J had a fight with freaking...
Fabulous.
Fabo, yeah. Mm-hmm. How did radio and media approach that?
Well, It was pretty much.
Trying to remember. It was.
Yeah, I remember. I remember because he was talking about the booty gang. For those of you that don't know, that was pretty. For those of you that don't know, the Ray J Fabulous playing the piano in Mayweather's living room incident, it literally is what made the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club was struggling up until that moment, and it's also the reason why the Breakfast Club record their interviews before, because Ray J. If you got internet, just Google Ray J Breakfast Club Booty Gang. Best interview ever.
So, okay, here's the thing. There's platforms that are, for example, news. Okay, news has to approach anything from a very serious standpoint. We're an entertainment radio station, so we talk about what's trending, what's entertainment, whatever. And if people are talking about this fight that happened, that's entertainment. That's our job. We're not here to report it as a news station. Neither are we some sort of some internationally recognized authority on violence or whatever. Nah, it's a radio station talking about entertainment stories. So just the same way you would say, "Hey, dog, did you hear about that Ray J and Fabo? Ray J caught them hands though, or Fabo caught." You know what I mean? That's normal entertainment. That's what you. But now, because Over Woke Squad is like, but wait, you're not talking about Ray J and Fabo. You're talking about other people that happened here who, of course, may not be celebrities, but still it's the same kind of story. That's what everyone's talking about. And it's the same kind of going, man, that person caught them hands, though. You guys, that was very, very inappropriate. You should have, first of all, mentioned that you shouldn't use violence. Well, yeah.
No. Like I said, the only issue I had was the bed. Because that was very incendiary.
I didn't even. Oh man, I gotta go give him death. Like, damn man, what the hell's wrong with you?
Besides that, I was like, you know what? If Dan wants to do this type of stuff, it's fine. And funny enough, a few years back, Dan and I used to do this type of stuff on Twitter. Like this is what we built TNN on, which later became Two Broke Twimbos. Like we used to have when December and Zim was TNN fodder. And there was a lot worse going on, a lot funnier stuff going on back then that we used to talk about. If you want to talk about that stuff, it's fine. You know what I mean?
I got to say that as a general rule, we got to take ourselves a little less seriously. I understand there's a lot of things that are issues. And I understand there's a lot of things that need a very serious viewpoint coming in. For example, I often see a lot of conversations on Twitter about a guy who says he wants his wife to cook for him. Hey, dog. I mean, I understand a woman who would say, no, I don't want to be a guy with like that. So don't be. I mean, it doesn't have to become this huge war about, hey, this shows that you don't like women. Nah, that he has his own views, and there's women who agree with him that would be happy to be with him. Cool. Do you know what I mean? There's no need to it for all of a sudden become an online war that clearly this man hates women because, hey, man, where he was raised, he saw his mom cooking for his dad, and his mom was happy, and his dad was happy. So in his head, that's what he wants. Maybe it's a bit of a backwards view or whatever, but it's still fine because there's people who have that view, and there's people who agree with him, and that's cool. It's okay to say, I don't agree with that. That's cool. But not, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to become everything you say.
But I was actually having this very type of conversation yesterday. And the thing with Twitter is you got two very different sides of the coin. So on one side, you've got people that are very new to this type of community. Mm-hmm. They finally found their voice. They found people that agree with them. So it's basically what we call echo chambers, where people are developing these theories and ideas, which in isolation aren't a bad idea, but they have no practical resonance or testing whatsoever. So in that instance, you'll have a guy will also say, and on the flip side, you'll have problematic men who kind of ruin it for everyone else. So you'll have a guy that will be like, you know what, I don't really need my wife to cook for her, but I like it when she does because, you know, it's an act of caring and he appreciates that and maybe he'll return the favor in other ways, you know what I mean? Everyone enjoys that, you know what I mean? Then you'll have guys who be like, no, I want my wife to cook for me. I married a paid lobola. She must work for me. She's my property.
See, now that's a problem. I can understand that.
And then, because there's no room for nuance on Twitter, someone who is the first category, who just appreciates a wife cooking for him, might drop a tweet that says, you know, I'd like my wife to cook for me. With no real ill intent. Mm-hmm. But he'll get classed into the other group. And that's where the other side of the coin comes in, where you got these people that just found their voice, but they got no practical understanding. So they feel that every response requires a 10. Like it's either a 0 or a 10. There's nothing in between. And they'll just start attacking. And then what it does is it creates this environment where people are either overly aggressive or overly defensive. You know what I mean? And there's no real conversation happening. It's literally argument, block, and then your echo chamber gets smaller. And you continue to surround yourself with people that have no differing views. And the problem with that is, if you continue to surround yourself with the same views as you, who never challenge you, how are you growing as a person? How are you testing these theories out if every person you speak to is like, yes, that is right. I'm burning my underpants today.
What? What? But anyway, yeah, I guess that's what it is, man. And it's also a good thing to choose your battles.
I've learned that as well.
Yeah.
I've got the 3 battle rule.
What's the 3 battle rule?
Like, whenever I want to argue about something, I realize that in this whole year, I've only got three fights. So, like, with my girl, with anything, with you, any person I deal with, I've only got 3 fights this whole year. So I asked myself, do I really want to waste one of those fights on this issue? Nah.
Say, for example, you're someone who's very passionate about race relations, discrimination, and so on. And as you see someone throw up a funny tweet about Donald Trump, and immediately beneath it, you see some random egg tweet, yeah, go back to Africa, you monkey. See, you could, A, tell that person exactly how you feel, and leads to a nice long Twitter fight.
With an egg, with 2 followers.
Or you could realize that this is an idiot. This is someone who is not going to change no matter what I say on Twitter. This is something that he has to learn or unlearn over a long time. And just keep your peace and keep it moving, man. Ignore, block, done.
Exactly. You know, another thing that I learned before, this carries over to a lot of things, especially on Twitter, even when I meet people. If I see someone with a differing point of view, before I even engage in a conversation, I ask them one simple thing. Is there anything I can say to you, no matter how well structured it is, no matter how intelligent it is, no matter how great my argument is there anything I can say to you that will make you change your mind? And for most of the time, they'll be like, no. And the moment they say that, I'm like, great, there's a wall, go argue with that because I have better things to do with my time.
We're good, we're cool. So like, yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of thing. Like I saw a lot of people were listening to the interview, and it was so funny to me because I saw this whole change because 1 or 2 people would then be like, nah, but Dan, how can you put this on radio? I'm like, what is radio some sort of sacred biblical reading to you? What is it? Nah, radio is a reflection of society. That's what it is. If everyone is talking about something, you'll hear it on radio. Mm-hmm. It's not some special magical play. So because people are talking about this, let's talk about it. All right, cool. Why is it all of a sudden, hey, Dan, why don't you... Someone hit me up on Twitter, and it's like, Dan, are you sure this is what you wanted to use the time on air on? I was like, what should I have used it on? What about an artist interview? We literally had an artist interview that show. Did you want us to have the whole show being artist interviews? No. What about music? Played music. We also had news and we had sports. Besides that, we also had a discussion of what's going on in the United States. We also had a discussion what's going on in politics. We also spoke about some gossip that's coming through from the music industry. Is there anything that I've left out? No, but I mean, you still could have used that time for something better. I'm like, okay, it's better to you maybe, but it's still a discussion of what's going on. So why is there no room to talk about something that's trending on Twitter? I don't see what the problem is.
Like I said, I don't really have a problem with it. If you want to be Wendy Williams, go ahead, Dan Williams. Only issue was, like I said, the way...
My biggest issue with Wendy Williams and why I thoroughly dislike Wendy Williams is you can tell that she says things deliberately to get a reaction. So you can tell she'll go and say, if everyone is saying, for example, man, Kanye is crazy because he talking about supporting Donald Trump. You know that Wendy Williams is the type who will go on and say, nah, I think actually Kanye has a point, because she knows that everyone's going to respond and she wants to get that reaction. And that irks me to no end.
But she's masterful at that.
I hate her so much. But I mean, as a person, she's probably cool. I just mean the show. I just dislike the show.
We don't really know her.
Yeah, so, but I mean...
She's built like a clothes pig, though, but that's neither here nor there.
Wow, body shaming, really?
I'm not body shaming. It's a fact. She's built like a clothes pig. Fam, body shaming is saying, you're hideous, you're disgusting. If I'm quoting facts, I'm like, fam.
See, again, hold on, before you get so defensive. Again, it's part of normal conversation to, like, joke about people and whatever. You know what I mean? And, for example, it's... think about it, man. Just like in any given environment, it's always like, you see what that dude looked like, oh, that dude is dressed like. But now all of a sudden, over woke squad is gonna make
dude,
you sit down and literally say nothing except the ingredients that you find on the back of a Cervita box.
Listen, if you are dressed corny, but I know you can afford better clothes, I am going to burn you.
See, okay, but what about someone who let me think of an example. Let's talk about
Perfect example, Wicknell. I burn that dude every day. Look, that dude is forever talking about his money. Why do you dress like it's 1998, fam?
Do you know the weirdest thing to me? I met Wicknell and I didn't realize it was him until later. I was like, sorry, what's your name again? Wicknell. What? You can't be Wicknell, man. Wicknell, no. Wicknell's a total douche. Like, you're cool. It's like, no. I was like, nah, get out of here. I saw we had a 3-minute conversation. It was just about some random. I think we had cricket or something, and we are just talking about the Zim team or whatever. And it was just a normal conversation. It's like, yeah, I know the thing, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Anyway, I know you. Yeah, I know you're Dan, right? You're blah. Okay, yeah, cool. I'm like, oh yeah, what's your name? Wicknell. What? Nah, get out of here. So I don't know if it's just a persona he puts on, or I don't know.
Apparently it is, because I don't know. But a friend of mine, a while back, he was dating a friend of mine, and they were like, "Yo, this dude's great. He's like very. Like it even. There's one time he even volunteered to drive the sister to school, and the school was like 300 k's away. So he literally went to the house, picked up the sister, drove her to school, came back. You know what I mean? So from what I hear, he's a good guy. But yo,
yeah, nah. Look, we're gonna judge you on what we see. Okay, but here's an example. Bunch of guys, and you're describing a girl that you're interested in perhaps getting together with, all right? Mm-hmm. So you're like, man, she real pretty, and she got that booty, but itty bitty titty committee. Is that body shaming?
That's you stating facts. But also maybe the
you see, here's the thing.
What's you call it? The limerick? No, it's not the poet. What am I? What's it's a alliteration.
Yes.
There's the verb of that. Whatever that is. It might have negative connotations around it.
Of course it does. If you think about almost anything, you can get to. What I'm saying is, there's no need for you to be up in arms of it, because no one's really insulting or whatever. It's just someone who's talking about his preferences and body type.
Exactly.
And that's okay. That's cool.
The funny thing is, especially with the quote unquote overwork squad, it's not really. I don't know. There may be a few in Zim. Like when women have these discussions about men.
Couple.
When women in Zim have these discussions, or just women on Twitter in general, like, no, if you're under 5 feet, don't talk to me. I ain't got no time for you, short man.
If you don't got a beard that connects, listen, man, I got a real splotchy beard.
Yeah. But let a dude say, "Oh, my girl have a fat ass." Ooh, his mentions will be lit.
Let you say good morning to the women under 60 kgs only.
Hey, shout out to Nick.
See, now, for example, if someone says that, I can understand why. Like, it's a joke. It's not an insult. It's not. You know what I mean? He's not body shaming. He's not.
It's a preference.
It's a preference, but at the same time, it's said in a jokey way and whatever. You really could just keep it moving and move a lot. Like, you could really.
Yeah, like he's not talking. Like, that's the thing. Like, if someone isn't atting you, you also got to ask yourself a question: why does this affect me so? And it's something that I also have to ask myself. Way back in the day when the Men Are Trash squad really took for, like, as a man, I was like, no, we are not trash.
I actually had this conversation with someone.
And then I had to ask myself, why does that irk me? And then I was like, it's a self-reflection, because when you think about it, we've done some trashy things. You know what I mean? So maybe it's a time for us to accept, and you know what? To an extent, men are trash. And I admit that, but I'm trying to do better. You know what I mean?
It's like, same. I had this response, excuse you, your boyfriend is trash. Why did you pick him? How are you calling us all trash? Until, what did it for me is when someone used the word male privilege, or the phrase male privilege. I'd seen it before, but I never really thought about it. And the moment I saw it, the first thing that made me think of was white privilege. And I was like, oh, see, you don't really get it because you've never lived it. So it's just like a white person saying, no, not all white people. Yeah, that's not the point. The point is you're part of a system that's benefited you, and you're unwilling to admit it and unwilling to take steps to reverse it and whatever, just because you're not the one who colonized or enslaved. Yeah, it still means you're part of the problem. Yeah, so that's when I realized that, oh, okay, okay, I get it. I may not be Well, okay, I've been trash once or twice in my life, but as a general rule,
That's an understatement.
as a general rule, I like to think of myself as a nice guy. I don't individually think I'm trash, but I'm part of a system that I benefit from, and I've never actively tried to Zora the rest of the males. So I'm part of it. I'm part of the problem. And I get it.
Yeah, and
Men are
that's
trash. Really.
Like, even in the smallest ways, like if you see a guy talking about a woman in a disparaging way, or even shouting at her, or doing for example, a lot of things guys do in the club, like just walking up to a girl, pulling on her hand, tapping on her shoulder, being overly aggressive. That is, in fact, a form of abusive behavior and violent behavior, some might say. If, as a man, you don't step in and be like, yo, dude, chill, the girl doesn't want to. That is, in fact, you're complacent and complicit in that act, and therefore you are trash too.
Yeah. Also, even if you were to 100% stand up for every single situation and 100% speak out and never do anything bad, you're still part of Men Are Trash because you benefit from the very fact that you're a man.
Yeah. So I was actually having this conversation yesterday or the day before. In fact, I don't know, because it'll seem like I'm trying to be too self-righteous when I'm not, because obviously I have my flaws. I mean, there are several. I mean, really. I mean, just look at my mentions. It's whew. But, like sometimes you might get to a point where you become a little hard on yourself. And I had friends that actually came to me and they were like, you know what, Phil, at least you recognize the issues and you're working on them, which is more than you can say for most. So don't consider yourself to be or look at yourself so low. At least you're making an effort to fix it and you're seeking advice. Because that's one thing I have been doing recently is now I've got a squad. I've got my squad. I've got my feminist consigliere. How do you pronounce it? Consigliere. I've got my feminist consigliere.
I'm sure the G is silent. But...
Shut up. It's not lasagna. So so I've got my feminist consigliere, and on a day-to-day basis I might hit them up and they go, yo, am I being trashy right now? How can I improve the situation? How can I handle this? And they'll give me some advice. I'm like, Phil, you could have done this, and this. And, it's helped me, as they say, interrogate my male privilege and my trashy behavior. So I advise you, too, to go out and get yourself a feminist consigliere. Yo, that would be a good service. What about that? If you don't want to be part of Men Are Trash Squad, so I'll just get a group of people to sign. So it'll be like Uber for checking your behavior, and then if someone's in your mention, say that.
No, but you could actually make an app out of it.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
And then someone would just you throw it.
Yeah, if you're on social media and you've got someone in your comments or your mentions saying, yo, dude, that's trashy behavior, you can then screen grab that, send it to someone on the site, and then they'll give you a reference and say, you know what, after reviewing your case, you were being trashy, so do this. I think that'll do a lot of things to mend relations between the two factions of Twitter, because Twitter only has two factions.
No, that will never be mended.
You think so?
No, it's
beyond repair.
It's beyond repair, and it leads to a lot of entertaining moments, I have to say. So I don't want it mended.
Speaking of, how's that feminist that cussed you out that you fell in love with? How's she doing?
Oh, I forgot her name, so I can't remember how to search for her on Twitter. I gotta find her until I've changed. I'm so sorry. Take me back.
Oh man! Hey.
Speaking of trashy behavior,
yo. Okay, where are we going with this? Because there literally could be an infinite amount of options.
I was gonna talk about the whole Stunner or Linda thing.
Hey, do you know what?
Okay, I want to do a very quick. I don't want us to get into the actual story, I want us to talk about
it's none of our business.
I assume everyone knows it, but in case you live in Yemen and whatever, maybe you don't know.
Shout out to our Yemen listeners.
It's Yemeni.
Yemen?
Yemenian.
Yemen.
Yemenis. Shout out to the Yemenis.
Yemen.
Yeah, man. Basically, what happened was Stunner's wife, Olinda.
Lovely lady, lovely.
She is. Yeah, I was telling you that I was actually with them the previous week. Anyway, she went on Facebook Live and you could see she was visibly distraught and hurt. Apparently, she just found out that her man was cheating on her with a teenager. and she went on to describe all that she'd done for her man, all that she'd done for Stana, and she was very, very upset and was basically talking about how it was over. At some point, she threatened to commit suicide. She got a bunch of pills. I couldn't identify what they were, but they.
I didn't see all of it because, as you guys might know, I'm not really on social media. I've been off Twitter for a month now. I might not come back, to be honest. No, I'm playing. I'll be back, but.
Yeah, well.
But someone just hit me up and they're like, "Yo, what's going on with Stana's wife?" I'm like, "What?" And I remembered like she had friended me 2 years ago or something like that before she even got married. And I was shocked. So I just searched her and I was like, "Oh yeah, we are friends. Oh, okay." Yo. And like as I'm watching it, I hit you up and like, "Yo, what's going on here, fam?"
Yeah. So anyway, so like she's like, "I'm done. I can't take this anymore." And then she pulls out some pills, and someone busts into the room, and then the video ends, and we're all kind of left in suspense, like, "Oh!" And she comes back on a couple of minutes later, and she seems a bit more calm, but now she's sitting. Clearly, whoever came in took the pills away from her or whatever. And she's like, "Okay, listen, some of y'all think I'm crazy, some of whatever. I don't care what y'all think of me. All I know is I want to hurt this man like as much as I can, just as much as he's hurt me. And I know the thing that he worries about most is his reputation on social media. So I'm here to let you know that he's a dog, he's a what, blah, 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 blah." So that's done, right? So obviously everyone is left in awe and shock. What on earth? Meanwhile, Stana's on his Snapchat selling or buying a Merc. I don't know what was going on. And then he, like later on in the evening, you can see he's visibly like tipsy now. He's been drinking. He's like, "What? I'm just getting home and I'm seeing all of this that's going on, you guys." Which is obviously untrue. He knew about it.
On the Snapchat, he was actually referencing it because I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm talking about business, big boy business.
Yeah. So his whole guan was basically, "I see nothing." And then he got home and then like he posts a snap of like him having a laugh-vicious conversation with his wife.
She wasn't laughing. If you look at the camera, she was looking at the camera.
Oh, that was the second snap. The first snap, it was kind of like, "No, but I'm going to buy video." And it's like, like you can just hear that there's a back and forth.
But I know that laugh. That wasn't a funny laugh.
Then, then there's in the Snapchat, she's angry. But whatever. But basically, he's in bed with his wife again.
Of course, dude, that's one thing people need to realize. And which is why I was so, like, I literally unfriended, in the past 2 days, I've unfriended about 20 people, mostly women. Because I'm reading their updates and I'm shocked. Obviously, you've got the trash people that are actually doing the body shaming, and people putting people doing the collages, putting her side by side with the exes, and those immediate trash. You're an idiot. If that's what you're basing the quality of a person on, by their weight, you are trash. First and foremost, there's that. Then you've got the other people, the other women that are like, "You know what? Well, welcome to the club. You're not the only one that's been cheated on. So shut up." You're like, once again. Remember that conversation we had about how low the bar is for men in this country? That speaks to that. Once again, please, like, if you have been cheated on, that means you know what that feels like. Why would you condone or excuse someone else who's going through that same pain? Another thing.
Then there's the other group who are all busy basically crapping on Olinda for going on social media. "Hey, this shouldn't be discussed on social. Hey, delete your account. Hey, can we?" So
yeah, and those also bunch into the publicity stand. What. And guys,
my response to that is like, okay, maybe fair enough. You can have an argument for why you shouldn't discuss personal issues on social media. Cool. Again, it's a very personal decision to make. You don't have to make that decision for someone else. I personally believe you shouldn't talk about your relationship on social media, but if you decide to do that, that's you. Yeah. I will just tell you that I don't think it's a good idea. However,
the thing, like, just sorry to interrupt you. If you're willing to talk about your relationship when it's good on social media, be prepared for the questions when things go bad.
So, yes, you may have a point that you shouldn't talk about things on social. But here's two situations that we know of. The man cheated and broke his woman's heart. The woman spoke about it on social media. Which one is worse? Who are you? Who are you shouting at?
But yeah, and there's also there's other accusations she made, which are also just as bad, or if not worse, that point to abusive behavior. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where, if indeed she did go try and get cosmetic surgery and almost like literally put her health at risk, those are even more serious issues that can't be ignored. Like, everyone is glossing over these big issues like infidelity, health risks, body shaming, abusive behavior, and they're going all the way down to the bottom of the totem pole. Why are you talking about it on social media?
How is that okay, maybe it is something that can be addressed at some point in the future. Like, okay, listen, now that we've dealt with everything else, in future, don't do this on social media.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's cool.
But you know, like, the other thing is...
How is that the first thing you say?
The other thing is, like, usually people that, when they say something stupid and they get dragged for it, this is their go-to excuse. It's my timeline, so I'll say what I want. But there is a bit of truth in that if it's your personal social media, you have every right to post whatever you want. But also be prepared to deal with the consequences of having said opinion or committing certain acts. Because that's just the way the world works. However, don't be an idiot. And if someone is clearly displaying that they're a victim, to me, it looks like a cry for help. And if someone is sending out cries for help, you should not be shaming them. At least find out what the situation is and then counsel them.
Here's the thing. You know the same type of people who would say, well, why were you wearing that little mini skirt? What did you think was going to happen when someone perhaps talks about a rape? It's the same kind of thing that, are you serious right now? Like, you're literally going to the victim and telling them, why did you do this that you feel is wrong? Even if it is surely so far below in the wrong scale a rape. Why would you even address it? How is that even something that you would discuss? Like, why were you wearing such a short skirt? Are you serious? And it's the same kind of thing. It's like, why are you talking about this on social media? It's so far down on the wrongness scale as opposed to everything else that is in this whole story.
But yeah, it points to a big issue, which is societally in Zim, we're very conservative, quotation marks. We're very traditional. We like to keep our home issues in the home. But what people don't realize is when you keep certain issues in the home, you're creating fertile ground for abuse to take place. Because if no one is checking someone, if abusers aren't called out, named and shamed, then they're going to continue doing what they do. And the last thing I'll say on this is I also got into it with some other dude who was talking about...
Is that one of your fights for 2017? Have you already lost one?
No, not even. Like, I didn't even get into it. I just saw the response, and the dude literally tagged me. I'm like, why are you tagging me nonsense? Don't... people on Facebook, do not tag me in your posts.
Why do people do that?
They're sad. Anyway, so... And they were like, why would Olinda claim to love Stana and she's going out and shaming him like this and ruining his career? There's something that I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I think Dan, you know it. If you guys don't know, you'll know. But I also went through a somewhat similar situation. But one thing I learned is when you hurt someone who really cares about you, there's no telling what they will do because the emotions are so high. And however someone deals with their hurt, it's their business. You gotta take it as it comes. Fonte, funny enough, he's got a very profound quote that I learned. He says, when you leave a relationship, there are two types of people. There's someone who's just trying to get out of the relationship and someone who's trying to get even. Olinda clearly said to herself, she's trying to get even. Because when you've hurt someone, when you've embarrassed them, like if what she says is true and she sacrificed so much and moved back to Zim and financially supported Stana's it's not fledgling career, but it was going through a rough patch, to say the least. Mm-hmm. When you supported that career and you basically can say like, I made or I helped sustain this guy's career or I built him up to who he is now, and he does this with someone else, obviously you're gonna be like, oh really, fam? Watch me take it all away again. And the best way to do that, or the
quickest one you'll jump
to, the quickest way, or the most vindictive way that will be getting even, quote unquote, will be, let me put the dude on blast right now.
See, now again, at the risk of sounding judgmental, I don't want to. Again, it's not something I would condone. I don't think it's a good idea to look for vengeance in a relationship. But then again, that happens all the time, and you can understand why someone would do that, and you can understand the emotional turmoil that will lead someone to want to.
And we've seen men do it too, you know. Men
do it probably worse.
Revenge porn. Hey, yeah.
So anyway, so that happened, the whole Stana Olinda thing.
Well, it's still happening. Ruvi had an interview. I was traveling, so I just got a H. So I didn't see the interview. I don't know how much you saw, Dan.
I saw a little bit. I was catching it here and there. Highlights. Stunna basically goes on to say, first of all, I didn't fat shame her. I don't think that she's... I don't have a problem with her weight in any way. In fact, both my mom and my sister are bigger than her. That's what he said. He also went on to say...
That doesn't really have anything to do with anything, though.
Just telling you what he said.
It doesn't have anything to do with anything. Like, that makes no sense. Hey, I love big girls. My mom and sister are big girls. What? What?
Also, he said, I mean, yes, she's helped me out with like stuff and whatever, but I've made my own money too. Like, cool. Stop it.
What am I doing? I'm doing nothing, fam. I ain't do nothing.
What else
You know,
did
the
I
funniest
catch?
part of that video was, though, when she goes into the bedroom like, this headbutt! This headbutt! I died.
Okay.
Yo, when you hurt a woman, fam, you do not want to hurt a woman.
He also said that he's still in love with his wife and he would like to work on things, but he will not apologize because she's the one who did him wrong. That's what he says. There were a couple of issues. For example, Ruveneko asked him, so are you saying that your wife was fed misinformation? And he's like, well, she was fed some information. And then Ruveneko was like, was it false? Crick, crick, crick. Then... And then Stana goes on, yeah, man, girls hit me up on this phone all the time. And Ruveneko says, so give it back to the owner, ka. Oh! Because, you know, she did say that she's the one who put in the phones. That was a bit like, it was a bit of a low blow to Ruveneko. But anyway.
Ruby's got those jabs. Ruby always likes throwing in those jabs.
Oh, and I do want to say, while I do think Ruveneko is probably one of the best interviewers when it comes to current affairs in the country, she has messed up several times. And I think she handled this one a bit wrong. It was too formal and hard hitting and like I'm sitting with the politician, when I felt it should have been more relaxed and more, all right, Stana, tell us your side of the story, and then question that, as opposed to how she normally handles it, like with politicians, like, what is your policy? No, Ningiji, but you said this, but the newspaper said this, but and like,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
it's a bit different in a like an entertainment news story.
Domestic, yeah. I get what you're saying.
But anyway, I still think.
So wait, so like Ruby just did this exclusively for Facebook and social media?
I don't know what the long-term goal is. She advertised that was going to be on her personal page, Ruveneko, but then it ended up being on Zimbo Live News, I think, and Periscope. I don't know what the long-term goal is. I'd love to hear what it is, but anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, Facebook Live seems to be where it's at right now. I actually got some plans for Facebook Live, but we'll talk about them later. I saw also Job Praiser launched a TV show on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a TV show; it's a web show.
Yeah, web show. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, and I guess that's actually where the juice is. Actually,
And I really like Zim on Facebook is huge. I don't know how huge Facebook is going to be after Potres has its way with these bundles. Hey, guys, I don't know what's going on. This country, fam.
it's like whenever we get anything good, it's just like, nah.
This did you read the Tech Zim article where they basically the head of Potter has basically released there's a pre-done interview where they're supposed to address the questions. So it's like, why are you raising tariffs? No, we're trying to protect the consumer because some network operators were killing the flow on the market, and which operators were not able to think. So there are three operators, right? Mm-hmm. You got Econet, you got Net1, you got Telecel.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much have the same price for data. Then
you have the special like daily
the special
rates or
daily
whatever.
the special daily bundles. Net1 and Econet are pretty much neck and neck. Mm-hmm. Telecel is probably the only one fledgling. So clearly, you could say Telecel is struggling to keep up. Who now has a majority stake in Telecel?
Government, GVT.
I'll say no more.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, all I know is
the funny thing is, the government also owns Net1. So
data must fall. That's all I know.
and while South Africa's fighting for data must fall, we're getting data increments, man. So, dude, I don't know how we're gonna live like this.
So, okay. Previously, with Econet, for example, you would spend $1 to get 250 megabytes daily, like on a daily bundle.
Yeah, 250 megabytes in quotation marks. Did I tell you this one time I bought a 1 gig data bundle and it expired while I was in airplane mode?
So, according to the new, I'm just reading here, According to the new price hike, some members of the public have complained that the new floor prices make data specifically more expensive. For example, a 250 megabyte daily bundle from Econet would essentially be priced at $5.
Yeah, that's the post I was reading. Yeah,
That's insane, man. Anyway, I'm frustrated,
But yeah, these prices don't reflect home internet prices. It's very confusing. There's a lot going on in this country that I don't understand.
if you're struggling with internet, you should get yourself a Zol.
Oh, shut up.
Zol actually, man, they hooked me up nicely because moved to the new place. While I was moving, I was like, I should probably get these guys to install fiber eventually at some point. So I called my brother. My brother works at Zol now. So I called him up. I was like, hey, can you just check like how long it would take to like install fiber to this place and whatever. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll call you back. And he calls him back, hey, dog, it's already there, man. Just plug your thing in. So I plugged it in and I was online before we had couches in the house.
Oh, so they already had a line at the very address.
Yeah, so it was literally just plug in your item.
So everything was already set up.
Already set up, and then like within 30 minutes it was running.
Lucky bugger.
It was great. So
I don't know. I do miss Zol Fibronics. It was great.
it is great.
Great times.
It's connected the Xbox to it, and everything's just fire.
I miss that Xbox. How's it doing?
It's doing great, eh?
That's good.
It's doing great.
It's good.
It's serving me well. Been watching Westworld on it recently. But anyway, it's another story for another time.
Westworld is which one again?
The one about the sort of like the game, well, not like the resort, which is like populated by robots, I guess.
Oh, that's the remake of the 80s show.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'd read about
It's
that.
so good. It's so good.
I really haven't had time to do much TV watching. I've been delving deep into some reports in academia. You'll see some of those fruits bear out in the coming weeks because I'm about to shut down the game with my knowledge.
Yeah, I had a bit of time in the December period trying to avoid being out. Somehow I did end up being out at a lot of places, but it was cool.
So wait, I got to tell you about the holiday.
What happens?
So I get back to my parents' house, and they're like, "Yo, we're going on a holiday. You want to come?" And I haven't really been on a family holiday in quite some time because my family's a lot. You know,
This is true.
my family is a lot. They're loud. In a confined space, it tends to be a lot. But I've also realized I haven't really been involving myself in affairs. Like now, I think also like when you're out of the country and you're isolated, you realize the importance of family. You know what I mean? And I'm growing up, so I was like, you know what? Screw it, let's go. Road trip. Get the trailer, fill up the trailer. We're out on the highway. I kid you not. So the whole itinerary for this trip was go to Hwange, a few nights at the Hwange National Park, then Vic Falls, a few nights in Vic Falls, then a few nights in Matopos, then back home. This is like all within 10 days. So, bamba.
Friend of ours was in Vic Falls. I'll tell you about it after the...
So yeah, bumper activities. So head to Hwange, get to Hwange, check in. Dudes are now selling us dreams. So like I also really don't want to go holidaying at this time of year because I know it's peak season and I know Vic Falls prices. I've been to Vic Falls.
the man.
Vic Falls prices are not the one. Anyway, we get to Hwange. These guys are not selling dreams. No, guys, you need to be careful. They're lions, they're leopards at night. Blah, blah, blah. So like all the kids are already scared. I'm like, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying this BS. Whatever. Next day, we're supposed to go on this safari. We're negotiating with the guy. Yo, how much to take us on a tour of the safari? Best price 150. Then Muri 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that deal. 280. Wait, 200 what? $280 for us to drive in a car for 2 hours and we can go ourselves. So I'm like, yo, why don't we just go with our own car? He's like, yeah, you can go, but you won't find the animals. Word? So eventually, my mom hasn't been on holiday in a while. She's like, screw it. I've had a hard year. My mom's been working 7-day weeks, saving up. She's like, screw it. Let's do it. Pay this guy. We go out. Dude literally sticks to the road, for one. And we don't see any lions. We don't see any elephants. We don't see any buffaloes.
Did you see any warthogs?
We did. We saw plenty plus warthogs. I've actually got like a ton of photos I still need to take off my camera.
Warthogs is my favorite word to say.
We saw so like every time we go to the watering hole, like dude's getting all excited over birds and he just starts calling out these names. And I'm like, Like, for all I know, the guy could be like this. Yes, that's a yellow-billed crickle crackle right there. Yes, but it's indigenous to this area. It comes out in winter. And like it's basically like watching the Black Steve, and he's just dropping facts. But it's all boring stuff. And I'm there with my nephew. My nephew is bored out of his mind.
It was birds.
Literally birds. 3 hours later, all we've seen are warthogs,
What dogs?
a bunch of antelopes, and a giraffe dropping it down low at the water hole. Everything else.
What? You guys saw little ants like running away from their parents' house and getting married? You saw an antelope?
Get out. So now, forking over that money, you're like, yo, wasted money. But you know what? Screw it. I'm going to Vic Falls. Get to Vic Falls, mosquitoes. My guy. At the hotel, mosquitoes. We are seeing flames. The aircon isn't working. I'm like, screw it. You know what? With the family, let's go have a good time. So let's go find out how much the activities cost. Rafting, $150. Helicopter ride, $150 per person. Bungee jumping, $200. Walking into Victoria Falls itself, $7 per person. Like I'm going to the club, fam. to see a big giant tap splash on some rocks. Do you know how much international visitors are forced to pay? $30 to see water.
Per person.
Guys, Zim prices make no sense.
I had okay, mine wasn't when I went to Nyanga. Okay, so I've recently made friends with this married couple who are very organized in their life.
Shout out to them. She got me. What's her name again? She got me really drunk the day I landed.
Oh yes, that's true.
Fam, I've never seen someone get so angry at me for not drinking. I'm like, no, like, no, you gotta drink. How dare you? And she shoves a drink down my throat.
Anyway, so we went with them and they hit us up. Okay, cool. So we've booked a villa. I'm like, oh, no, we did what? We booked a what?
You should tell them to hook me up. Vumba, I've got the hookup. I know someone who's got an incredible mansion out there. And
I've also got a couple of hookups, but the thing is we decided too late, so everything was booked. But anyway, we've booked the villa. Okay, cool. So we're going to be, you guys are in charge of drinks and breakfast, okay? We'll organize the drinks as well and lunch.
How many days is this?
4 days,
yeah.
I think. Then, so, okay, cool. So what do you need us to buy? Fam, the list we got, it was a really long list. Like,
well, of course, when you play with the big boys.
Just bachelors, we're just going to buy a couple of beers and
some eggs.
Some eggs, we cool. So we're over there in the shops. Hey.
Yeah, it's real.
I'm with Derek. He's like, all right, Dan. So you will swipe for it, car. And then I'm, my dude, what? You want me to what? It's like, no. And then we'll equalize Kumberi, which we did, of course. But still, man, you know when you really feel the strain, like your card feels lighter.
Fam, that's exactly how I felt. Vic Falls, we go for drinks, $30. Say what?
Then we get so we get to Nyanga. We get into this villa chi. And we were well stocked, man. We had the drinks, we had the food, we had the chi. I was dope and whatever. Then we decided to go. The first day we were like, no, let's go like deep down into the Honde Valley and whatever. It was beautiful.
Honde Valley, those are my areas. My uncle's from them. My uncle got a farm down there actually.
Yeah, we went deep down. Went through the tea estates. We went to a place called Aberfoyle Lodge.
Dude, that's right by my uncle's farm.
Aberfoyle Lodge. Hey, cool. No, the thing is, we actually wanted to book a place here, but how much is it? 120 per person per night. What?
Since when is that expensive?
Dog, I don't know. Was that a special thing? 120 per person. I was like, no, cool. We're just gonna here have lunch and whatever. Okay, cool. We've got burgers. How much are your burgers? So it's $15. So I was like, is there anything special about this burgers? I mean,
dude, Zimbabwe.
I mean, like that's like what, 200 rand? Why is it so? Why? Anyway, so we had lunch there. It was cool. It was beautiful. I don't want to lie. Like it's such a beautiful place. We had swimming. There was a water slide.
You hated swimming.
We embarrassed ourselves because there were white people watching us, and we were just like, "Ooh, water, yeah, doggy pedo, yeah."
All in the shallow end. Dad is there with his arm floaters and the ring around his waist.
Like, I can't feel the bottom. I can't feel the bottom anymore. Anyway, so Get out of here, man. I can swim.
Sure, yeah, sure.
That was the first day. That was cool. Now, on our way back, as you know, it's quite hilly country.
Indeed.
The car suffered a mishap. Okay, basically what happened is we could see that the fan, basically the engine was overheating. So the Adam tells you that no, switch off the engine immediately, right?
Yeah.
It's like, fam, where we are, we can't, like, it's a really narrow road on a mountain. We can't really, we gotta get somewhere to park the car. You know what I mean? So we had to drive for a little bit, and then we crossed this bridge, and there was a little area that we just parked by the side of the road.
Was it still in Hunde Valley?
Yeah, this is almost just outside the T estates. And so we're like, crap, the car's overheating. We need to get some water. So Dan, can you just go by the river over there, grab one of the containers in the car, put some water in there, and then we fill up the radiator. Maybe there's a leak. We try to find out what's wrong. So I'm on my way, and as I get down to I was on my bare grills, man, like swinging across branches, whatever, getting down to the water. And then I see some dude, one of the dudes who were with is running to me. Dad! I'm like, what is wrong? I don't know. Got some water. Then when I come up, I'm like, dude, what's wrong? What was the problem? He's like, see those queens that are just walking past? They came to me and they were like, Sha, Dukuti, where he's going is very dangerous. There's some very shady people that frequent this area. So I was running to you to warn you. And then she shouts at me, because kunenjuzu. So basically, I was in danger of mermaids at this river. It was a bit stressful because it was getting towards evening. Now, I don't make light of people's beliefs.
No, I don't.
And weird things have always happened.
I'll explain it to you afterwards, but carry on.
Weird things have always happened. But here we were semi-panicking, and it's only later that I was like, no, Njuzu. It's like, fam, man, could you have just let us do our thing? And then,
Yeah, the thing is, like, I'm from Mutare, so if you don't know, Manicaland is a hotbed for a lot of superstitious and ritualistic and supernatural activities or rumors thereof. And I used to have that same reaction, like, yeah, whatever. Till I started, like, you hear stories, and it's actually happened where people disappear. People just vanish. Now, it might be negligence. It could be because you're near a body of water. Like in Odzi, people have disappeared. In Chipinge, people have disappeared. And it gets attributed to mermaids. So it might not actually be a mermaid, but it might just be the fact that this is a high-risk area. You might slip on a rock.
Fair
you
enough.
might get swept away. And people might attribute that to a mermaid. Or there actually might be mermaids. We don't really know.
But here's you gotta understand, okay? So here we are thinking like I see this dude running to me and he's like semi-panicking.
Yeah, so
right?
it's basically an anticlimax.
So I was like, what the hell is going on?
What's wrong? It's Ariel. She's coming to get you.
So it was kind of like, so I'm semi-panicking, like, what's going on? I mean, Anyway.
I didn't even finish my story, fam.
Oh,
We went to my top guy. We've got to go there. Like this, I literally, like, my sister killed. I don't know how she found this lodge in Matopos, but it is freaking amazing, dude. Like, I was in heaven. Like, there's no network, so I was completely detached from the world. I'll show you the photos. Over the balcony, like, there's a massive rock. So we literally, like, at the top of a mountain, and the house is on a rock. Over there, you just see, like, a deep valley, and then a dam. To your left, it's just, like, rock structures. So quiet, so serene. Amazing place. So now, it's near the national park again, so there's rhinos. So, rhino walk, let's go. So after paying $300 in Wange, we're expecting to maybe fork out $150. We go to these guys, how much for safari to get a guide and go on safari? $10. Say what now? $10 per person. No, $10. What? Sweet. We go. Now, we make the plan. We're leaving tomorrow at 9 because there's a bunch of other people by this place. We're all going to group up. We're going to go together. My sister's like, nah. We're going to leave at 10. So obviously, by the time we get there, all the guides are gone. There's one last guide. One guy left at the office.
he has one leg and an eye.
He clearly did not want to leave. Like, he was hesitant to leave, but because we paid, he had to. So we start on this drive. So we're like, yo, I see some trees. Yo, what tree is that? Oh, that's the acacia. Okay, cool. You know, there are 11 species of the acacia. So there are several. Okay, which one is that? That's an acacia. That alone set the tone for the rest of the tour. Funny enough, we did find 6 rhinos, and we were right by the rhinos, which was so dope. So we literally walking through the bush. I see a big hole. Yo, fam, what's this hole for? No, that is for ant bear. What? An ant bear? Oh, like aardvarks and pangolin. Yeah, like a warthog. Negro, what?
I love warthogs, man. They keep coming up, man. This is great.
How is a warthog like a pangolin? Anyway, long story short is this dude was the most inept guide we'd ever found. We literally were just following the group in front of us to find the rhinos. But we found the rhinos, which was dope. But yeah, then this year we need to go back to Matopos. It's an amazing place. We had great times. This place has a basketball court.
I'm down for that, man. 2017, that's one of my. I want to be able to see some parts of Zimbabwe that I haven't seen. Man, I live here. People travel here from all around the world, and I haven't.
They come from all around the world. Hey, speaking of, fam, I thought Haifa was bad. The Rastafari pickup ratio in Vic Falls. Yo. Hey.
Anyway,
these dusty foot European girls love us over here, man.
Let's talk about plans for 2017 for Two Broke Twimbos.
Yeah, so we're going to have a meeting now. I'm devising the content strategy, but what we want to do is try to be more regular, at least once a week. So if we can't be in studio together, Dan will have an interview. If not, I will have an interview. We'll alternate that way, just to keep the brand strong. You know what I'm saying?
I think Skype was working well. We could try organizing.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a couple of people lined up for Skype as well. First one. Anyway, we'll talk about them. But there's a couple of people that I spoke to that are open to it.
Yeah. And just more event coverage. We're trying to do more original content as well. Like, we've dabbled in it before. It just really wasn't worth our time. Not to say that we don't enjoy doing it. We just got bills to pay. And Two Broke Twimbos is still a lost leader. We literally just do it for you guys. But shout out to all the people that have been donating via the PayPal. By people, I mean the one person. But if you do want to donate to us and keep us going, please hit us up on PayPal at donate@twobroketwimbos.com, or just email us, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, let us know what you think. Shout out to all the people that have been letting us know that they miss us, that they want the show to come back. Yo, we have a lot of pretty ladies that listen to this show, fam.
Shout out to the ladies.
Dude, like, the amount of random Facebook messages I get.
We do it for you.
Because, like, on Facebook, I have a very lax friendship policy. It's basically, if you're a cute girl and you're Avi, accept.
That's very exclusive of non-cute girls, Phil.
Accept. So, and then all of a sudden, they say, "Look, when's the next episode dropping?" I'm like, I didn't even know you listened.
But thank you. And it's actually happened a couple of times. Like, people I'll meet, they'll be like, I know you from somewhere.
You know what we should get? Well, we should get...
Oh.
Yeah!
All right, anyway, we'll talk about it.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Like, this is a long-ass episode. How long are we?
No, it's not. It's an hour 15 or so.
Yeah. As you can hear, my voice is a little hoarse. Yeah,
mine is a bit donkey. As you can see, I will not be holding back on the lame jokes.
You're on fire, man. You're amazing.
But no, looking forward to the year, man. We got some good plans for Two Broke Twimbos, and we'd like you to be part of it. The one thing that I want us to do is to push the website a bit as well. Mm-hmm. So you did ask once upon a time if people are happy with us to put up the news, the music, the whatever events you see on our website. Yeah. I think we should. We'll do it. That's cool. I mean...
Yeah. I think the only issue there has just been time. Like, we'll resolve and do it. I think we just don't get the time.
Dude, like right now. But anyway, no. As of February, I'll be a lot freer. So, we'll be able to do stuff.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, eh?
Yeah. So, follow, like usual, man. 2017 is going to be a big year for us. We didn't win any awards last year, but whatever.
We did, actually.
Did we?
In February, we won our award.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, that was for the previous year. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but we still haven't received it, so there's that.
Yeah. Anyway. We out of here, man. Follow, like, subscribe. Two Broke Twimbos on everything. That's the number 2. I've noticed that there's a lot of people who subscribe but aren't maybe visiting the website or on the social medias. That's cool. That's allowed. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but we'd really appreciate it if you could just click the follow or click the like, and that makes life a lot easier for us.
Indeed. And on that note, don't forget to wash where the sun don't shine and keep it fresh. And see you guys next week.
Oh, I want to just a big shout out to Capital 26 Free. Looks like people are jumping onto the podcasting bandwagon.
Technically, like the thing is, Larry was kind of the first Zimbabwean podcaster, so we really don't have a leg to stand on in that regard. Well, we just have a better podcast.
Shout out to Larry. Anyway, yeah.
No. Kunagi, I don't know, like, for those of you that don't know, search for it online. Radio KNK, Kunagira Radio. Those are the originators, and I actually love the stuff they used to do. That's probably, to this day, still one of the dopest Zimbabwean podcasts ever. And they were ahead of the game.
Shout out to Candace.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Candace was part of that, wasn't she?
She was.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, we out of here. It's been a pleasure as per usual. And we out.
We broke.